Good evening, everyone. Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights Group and Success Coaching International with another important live video update tonight. So I'm sure all of you watching this will be very glad to hear that I only have one COVID-related article to share with everyone this evening. So let's just get it out of the way first up and then we can move on. Now, as I've said over the past few weeks, the powers that be are clearly really ramping up all the news of the new COVID variants and all the rest of it, and of course why everybody should rush out and go and get jabbed, whilst of course actually secretly removing the recommendations for healthy children and healthy adolescents to actually get jabbed. That's something we covered on last week's update. So if you missed that, please make sure you go back and watch that very important update. And do, of course, be sure to share that article around as far and as wide as you can. Now, of course, despite that news that, of course, didn't make it to the news, the media still continues to push this fear-based narrative. And this week, are you ready for it? It's the razor blade variant. Yes, you can't make this stuff up, people. The razor blade throat variant, according to the media. COVID variant brings a razor blade throat to California. New variant expected to become dominant in the US this month. San Diego KGTV, a new COVID variant is bringing a painful side effect to California. The variant is officially called NB.1.8.1 or Nimbus. Oh, they've given it a name now. Isn't that nice? Some patients say it's causing them such a severe throat that they'll feel like they're swallowing razor blades. Your throat is so dry, so cracked, it's so painful, it's even hard to drink sometimes, said Dr. Muhammad Azam, a physician with the Sharp Community Medical Group. Isn't that when you get any really bad cold, you get a sore throat and it feels like you're swallowing razor blades? This is nothing new, people. This particular variant, even though it's relatively mild, except for the razor throat, well, which is it? You can't say it's mild and then say it's got a razor throat. I mean, that's not mild, is it? It's very infectious compared to other strains. Oh, here we go. Right now, California Health Data Tracker CalCat says Nimbus is the second most prevalent strain of COVID in the state, but also the fastest growing. Ooh. The CDC says Nimbus accounts for 37% of all COVID infections in the US. It's projected to become the dominant strain by the end of the month. I mean, how do they figure this stuff out? They must have a magic ball. Anyway, Azam said people who are at high risk or have underlying health factors should be cautious as we get closer to fall when COVID typically peaks. Hang on, I thought COVID typically peaked in winter. Maybe it works differently in the US because they're certainly always prattling on about it in winter here in Australia. So, interesting. COVID has now become just like the common flu or other respiratory viruses, he said. Oh, hallelujah, someone's telling the truth. It's part of life and there will be peaks. And just like the flu, there will be sometimes we breathe nasty strains and sometimes it's mild, he said. Like he just said this one was, apart from the razor throat. Unfortunately, there's no magical medication what? Did I read that correctly? There's no magical medication. So no jabs, no vaccines, no magical medication you take to help resolve this strain. But warm fluids and small sips help. Also, ibuprofen helps to take some of the pain away and the inflammation. Wow. Oh, hang on. No, we're not finished yet. He also said the current COVID vaccine is effective against the Nimbus strain, the one that's only just come out. So people should look into getting a booster shot this summer. I mean, come on. They chop and change from one line to the next. Oh, there's no magical potion. Oh, but get the vaccine because that'll fix it because that's the magical potion. I mean, these people literally could not lie straight in bed, let alone to the public. But here's the thing. Unfortunately, you can be damn sure that if they're already reporting this in the US, then it's only a matter of time before they start reporting on it right here in Australia as well. So, look, just be aware of it, just be ready for it, and you go, oh yeah, that's what Mike was talking about. All right. Now, one of the other topics that I've spoken about far too many times already this year is the ever-increasing number of new fines that are being handed out around the country, seemingly every single week. Because, of course, the various state governments just try and come up with anything and everything that they can issue some new fine for so they can raise some more revenue. Now, just the other day, there was actually an article about the latest revenue-raising cameras being rolled out in Queensland. So if you're in Queensland or if you're travelling to Queensland, please make sure that you're aware of this article. Queensland newest speed camera. Queensland has rolled out new mobile speed cameras aimed at catching speeding motorists at roadwork zones, with thousands of drivers already facing penalties in the first few months of operation. Then there's their first subheading, cameras already catching offenders. Between May 1st and September 30, 2024, more than 1,500 infringement notices were issued to drivers who failed to slow down at designated roadwork sites. These fines come as part of the broader initiative by the Department of Transport and Main Roads, TMR, to improve safety for road workers and motorists alike. At present, 3 mobile cameras are in operation across the state, with a 4th set to be deployed shortly. That means they're going to invest in a new camera to make more money. Second subheading, early enforcement results. The first camera was installed on the Warrego Highway in Ipswich near the Bremer River Bridge. There, the posted limit was reduced to 60 kilometres an hour for the duration of nearby works. Since then, each camera has issued an average of 10 fines per day, contributing to over 300 infringements monthly. Wow. One driver was recorded travelling at a staggering 148 kilometres an hour in a 60 zone. Now, that's obviously a worry. So what happened there? Although no fine was issued due to the incident occurring prior to the camera's full enforcement capability being activated. So the one time a driver actually should have been issued with a fine for a crazy amount over, the cameras weren't working properly. I mean, this is just nuts, people. The next steps in the rollout, with early results deemed promising, i.e. making money, Queensland Department of Transport is expected to continue expanding the program. Of course they are, because they're making money. The state's broader road safety strategy includes increased enforcement, improved signage, and public awareness campaigns about the dangers of speeding. These mobile cameras represent just one part of a larger push to reduce road fatalities and make Queensland's roads safer for all users, especially in high-risk areas like road construction zones. What a load of crap. Seriously, I mean, it just doesn't add up. Now, look, please, let me be crystal clear on this point. I am absolutely all for slowing motorists down in construction zones if construction is actually going on. Now, how many of you, have driven through a construction zone late at night or on a weekend and there's absolutely nobody around, but those lower speed limits are still in force? That's where these cameras are catching people out. Now, I would like to think that I would speak for many people when I say that I believe that most motorists would be more than happy to slow down for workers in construction zones if the proper speed limits were reinstated when no actual construction work was going on. Now, here's the thing, of course. If they just simply did that, then there'd be no need for those cameras at all, because people would just automatically, logically slow down. The issue with that, of course, is then they wouldn't be making any money. So hopefully you're starting to see what their true focus is here now. It's got nothing to do with safety. It's all to do with money. Now, here's the thing. It's not just Queensland motorists that are getting penalised. There's actually a whole raft of new rules, regulations, and of course, most importantly, new fines that are coming in for most states around the country as of the 1st of July. So please, wherever you may live around this fine country, be sure to take note of the following. This is the article, and again, if you are a motorist in this country, I urge you to look this up so that you are aware of what is coming in just a few weeks. Major road rule changes coming into effect on July 1 across Australia. Australians hitting the road are being told to take note, with fresh driving laws kicking in, including 4-figure fines for mobile use. A sweeping set of road rule changes is being introduced across Australia from July 1st with tougher penalties, cutting-edge enforcement technology, well, we've addressed that on previous videos, and a nationally consistent speed limits designed to crack down on dangerous driving behaviours. From hefty fines over $1,000 for mobile phone use to new obligations when passing roadside assistance vehicles, drivers in many states are being urged to brush up on the new rules or risk paying the price. In some cases, non-compliance could cost thousands and trigger licence suspensions. So, what's changing nationwide? Mobile phone use will be under stricter surveillance than ever as AI-powered detection cameras capable of identifying drivers holding or touching their phones, even at red lights, are activated or expanded nationwide. Penalties vary by state but can exceed $1,000 and 5 demerit points. Now again, absolutely, if you're on the phone while you're doing 100 k's down the freeway or in a 60 zone or wherever else while you're actually driving, that's a danger. You are distracted. You should not do it. But if you're sitting at a red light and you pick up your phone to look at something, who really cares? Who's it hurting? Absolutely no one. Again, if they focus these things on actual true deterrence rather than just penalising people across the board, people might be more inclined to take notice. Victoria. So, from 1st of July, Victoria will expand a Road Rule 79A, requiring drivers to slow to 40 kilometres an hour when passing roadside assistance vehicles, including tow trucks, breakdown support and incident response units, as long as flashing lights are activated and workers are visible. This rule previously applied only to emergency vehicles. The penalty, a fine of up to $961, but strangely, no demerit points. So if this is such a big safety issue, why would there be no demerit points associated? Once again, things don't seem to add up. New South Wales. Starting July 1st, New South Wales becomes the first state to apply average speed cameras to light vehicles, including cars and motorbikes. It's my understanding that other states have had point-to-point cameras and average speed cameras for quite some time that did cars and motorbikes. So I'm not sure what they're saying there. These cameras already in place for heavy vehicles will be active on the Hume and Pacific highways. A grace period with warning notices has been running since May 1st, 2025, but enforcement with fines will begin from July 1st. New South Wales is phasing out ticketless parking fines, addressing concerns over drivers unknowingly receiving fines without physical notices. Well, I suppose we should be grateful for small mercies. Queensland. As of July 1st, Queensland is introducing a 3.5% increase to fines across a range of offences, including speeding, seatbelt violations and mobile phone use. Distracted driving will be a particular focus, with enhanced enforcement tech and a tougher approach to infringement. Queensland is set to reduce speed limits from 50 k's to 40 kilometres an hour in select tourist and residential areas, including the Harvey Bay Esplanade and various urban neighbourhoods. South Australia, you're included too. South Australia's latest road rule change requiring drivers to slow down to 25 kilometres an hour when passing stationary breakdown service vehicles displaying flashing amber lights came into effect on May 19. 25 k's an hour. I mean, that is just insane. The change extends the current protections for emergency vehicles and is part of a broader safety campaign. Yeah, right. We'll come back to that in a moment. South Australia will also introduce 40 kilometre an hour speed limits across inner city councils in the Adelaide metropolitan area, along with 10 kilometre an hour limits in shared pedestrian zones. Who was the bright spark that came up with that idea? Let's put pedestrians and, bicycles and motorists all on the same road together. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, but let's reduce the cars to just 10 k's and everything will be fine. Oh, my goodness. And finally, last but definitely not least, Western Australia. From July 1st, 2025, Western Australia will introduce a sweeping set of road rule changes aimed at improving road safety, we'll see what actually happens, and reducing the state's road toll. Fines for traffic offences will increase significantly, including up to $700 and 5 demerit points for mobile phone use and more than $1,600 for excessive speeding. Repeat offenders face licence suspension. New AI-powered cameras will also begin detecting speeding, seatbelt non-compliance and phone use, with enforcement to begin after a warning period concluding in May 2025. The state will also launch a 3-year trial lowering speed limits on over 1,800 regional roads in the Bustleton and Augusta Margaret River areas, aiming, they're not necessarily going to achieve it, but they'll aim to improve safety in high-risk areas. Meanwhile, off-road vehicle owners will be able to register their bikes online, removing the need for in-person paperwork. Well, gee whiz, isn't that, fantastically convenient in light of all the new fines that they're bringing in? I mean, it's just insane. Okay. Now, I mean, to combat the majority of that article, all anyone really needs to do, okay, is just go and have a look at some of the dash cam footage that has been doing the rounds on social media for the past month or so, since all of those new lowered speed limits around these emergency vehicles has been implemented, and just see how many crashes that has actually caused. Okay. I mean, here's the thing. If this was the slightest bit anything to do with actual road safety or keeping emergency workers safe, as well, of course, as other motorists, as they claim, they would get rid of these ridiculous rules that force people to just slam on their brakes from 100 kilometres an hour, trying to get down to 40 kilometres an hour or even slower in South Australia, which just simply causes way more accidents than it saves. Just get them to slow down to, 60 k's an hour. Same with an 80 zone, get them to maybe slow down to 50 kilometres an hour. Sure, maybe in a 60 zone they can slow down to 40 k's. But again, it should never actually be about the specific speed that they're slowing down to. It should just be a demonstration or indication that motorists have seen that there's something going on. They are slowing down. They're giving a slightly wider berth than they might otherwise do. And they're paying more attention, because that is what will actually save lives, not just having everyone slam on the anchors, especially in the middle of a 3 or 4 lane freeway, just because someone's way over in the emergency lane, which, by the way, is what the emergency lane is actually for, where they're getting their car picked up. Okay, and equally, this comes back to the police as well. Police should not, be pulling motorists over on freeways or highways. They should be getting them to slow down slightly and then pull off at the next exit ramp, side street, rest stop, somewhere that is actually safe without forcing everyone else to jam on their brakes. But again, as I've said a million times before, the problem is that this has absolutely nothing to do with actual road safety and everything to do with raising revenue. Now, I'll stand here, right now. I'll put my money where my mouth is, okay? And I will say on this video for everybody that I do not believe that implementing this range of completely outrageous, and absolutely pointless fines and these huge reductions in speed, I don't think it's going to make, little to no difference, to the actual road toll. But I tell you what it will do, it'll raise a hell of a lot more money. Now, look, as always, I'm more than happy to be proven wrong, but what we will do is we will revisit this point early next year when all the road toll figures for 2025 have come out. I will keep a copy of that article, and we'll see what, if any, impact there's actually been on the road toll across these states that have chosen to implement these new changes in the interests of road safety. Now, as always, if you want to learn the true road safety initiatives, the things that will genuinely make our road safer for all motorists, please grab a copy of that Aussie Speeding Fines book if you don't already have it, and go straight to chapter 1, because that talks all about the history of fines and what they were originally there to achieve, and how all of that has been morphed from road safety into revenue raising, and of course what you can do to put a stop to that and to genuinely make our roads safer. Okay. Now, there is a link in the description and should be in the comment section as well. Now, here's the thing. It's the people that read those chapters that take that action, that movement of people, that will collectively bring an end to this current, over-governed system. But it's only going to happen when we stop all of that money rolling into the government coffers. And of course, the only way to stop that is to just stop blindly paying your fines and actually challenge them instead. Now, speaking of money rolling in, check out the next article from Victoria, where it turns out that one council, just one council, only one's come to light so far, one council has overcharged almost 250,000 motorists for parking fines that were unjust and unlawful anyway, and they had no lawful authority to issue in the first place. Okay, so if you're in Melbourne, if maybe you were in Melbourne at some point and got a parking fine, again, go and look up this article. And this is what it says. Marybeck Council caught out ripping off 248,000 drivers. Herald Sun can reveal Marybeck Council, formerly known as Moreland Council, overcharged an estimated 248,000 motorists who breached parking time limits between 2013 and when the error was discovered this month. It took them 12 years to discover the error. Gee, they're a super competent council, aren't they? And they want your rates money to do this kind of rubbish with. It is understood motorists will overcharge an estimated $50 per fine. It means the council, which covers areas including Brunswick, Coburg, Pascoe Vale and parts of Fitzroy North, is now facing a multi-million-dollar budget black hole to repay the money through an opt-in refund scheme. That means that you've got to opt in to get your money back. They're not going to just automatically give it back to you. There's another part of the scam. Oscar Yildiz, the council's longest-serving councillor, said the error was an administrative one made more than a decade ago, and it's taken this long to figure it out. As a councillor, I want to acknowledge that council made a serious mistake. Oh, well, bully for you, Oscar. For over a decade, some drivers were charged more than what we were legally allowed for parking fines, and that's simply not acceptable. Neither's unlawfully issuing them in the first place, mate, but just a hint. As soon as this came to light, we acted quickly, took responsibility, and established a 12-month refund scheme for those affected. Yes, it will impact our budget, but doing the right thing matters more. Oh, please. How about not issuing the bloody parking fines in the first place, mate? This is about fairness, accountability, and rebuilding trust with our community. Oh, I don't know how much more of this rubbish I can read. 11 infringement types were identified as having higher penalties imposed than were otherwise allowed. A refund scheme to refund eligible motorists the overcharged portion of their fine is expected to be launched next month and will operate for 12 months. So the error's been going on for 12 years, but you've only got 12 months to opt in and try and get a refund. Again, doesn't really seem, fair and just and all this other rubbish that they're trying to spout here. Today's announcement reflects Marybeck City Council's commitment to integrity, transparency and fairness. Oh, my Lord. Now that we've found the mistake, we are fixing it, Council CEO Kathy Henderson said. This is a regrettable historical administrative error and we apologise for the impact of the overcharge. Parking is a limited resource and to ensure fair access for everyone, parking restrictions and controls are necessary. All revenue raised from parking fines is reinvested back into our community to provide services and facilities to the Marybeck community. What a load of rubbish. It's there to pay the councillors their wages. That's all they do with that money. It doesn't go back into the community in any way, shape or form. And the fact that they even print that rubbish is, really beyond me. Now, here's the thing to me that seems to just jump out crystal clear more than anything else. If they were really, genuinely, honestly committed to integrity and transparency and fairness as they claim, then they would put the effort in themselves to refund everyone who had been overcharged rather than forcing people to opt in to their refund scheme. Now, this, of course, is the key point. Absolutely none of this would have been necessary if people just listened and actually challenged every single fine they received rather than just blindly paying up. There would be no need to refund anyone. Okay? So please, I urge you all, if you haven't yet done so, just refer to that tried, tested and proven, very simple to follow. Just cut and paste your details in and send off 3-step process letters from this Aussie Speeding Fines book. We're going to read through yet another testimonial a little bit later in tonight's video. Please grab this and put an end to this madness, okay, once and for all. It's not hard. It's easy to follow. You just need to follow the steps. print the letters off and send them off. All right, so the final article that I want to cover tonight relates to the ongoing push for everyone to ultimately get some kind of digital ID. Now, we've obviously had a lot of success over the past year or so with people standing their ground against the director ID. Very few people are being contacted anymore, and those that are just keep sending back the letters off our fines page, and they are being left alone. Now, the reason that we're having that success, though, is because of the sheer number of people that are actually standing their ground and refusing to sign up. I think it's still in the vicinity of 700,000 to 800,000 directors are still just standing their ground, and that's why it's working. So those are the sort of numbers that we need to put together to stop the digital ID as well. So I just wanted to share with everyone a simple petition that can help put an end to that. So this is the petition to look up. We will put one up in the description on the videos as well, and there should be something going up in the comments shortly too. It is entitled Stop Digital ID, Our Final Chance. What if you needed government permission just to live your life? Sounds extreme? It's already starting. Thanks to the Albanese Labor government, Australians are now being pushed into a national digital ID system, a system that's quietly reshaping how you access essential services and live your daily life. This isn't theory, it's not a future proposal, it's real, and it's already being rolled out. So, what's happening? In May 2024, the Labor government passed the Digital ID Act. There was no referendum, there was barely any public debate, just politicians pushing it through. And now it's coming to life. In March 2025, the ATO made it official. Businesses must now use digital ID just to access their tax accounts. Government services are already shifting to digital ID only logins. The system is expanding fast. Next, banking, healthcare, employment, maybe even travel. So, why should you care? Because this is what happens when everything ties back to government-issued digital ID. You can't log in without a digital ID. No access to your tax info. Happening now. Can't prove who you are without an app? No Centrelink payment. Don't want facial recognition scans? No strong identity strength? No access. Can't get a job, open a bank account, or verify your age? Too bad. Get on the system or get locked out. They say it's voluntary, but every new service that adopts it makes it impossible to live life without it. That's not convenience, that's coercion. A silent shift into control. Digital ID is being sold as a security upgrade, but look closer. The system creates a central checkpoint that you'll need to pass through to do almost anything. It can easily expand into social credit scoring, vaccine enforcement tools, digital currency tracking, total surveillance of everyday life. Once you're inside the system, there's no easy way out. And we found that with the director ID as well. People who signed up and then said, oh, I made a mistake, I want to opt out. Too bad, so sad, can't do it. It's there for life. So, who let this happen? Labor did. They introduced the bill. They pushed it through Parliament. They dismissed concerns about privacy, surveillance and abuse. And now it's spreading through your life, whether you agreed to it or not. Whether they voted for it or being just newly elected, inherited it, marginal Labor MPs now own their party's digital ID regime, and it's time they answer for it. So what can you do right now? Sign the petition targeting Labor's most vulnerable MPs, the ones in marginal seats who depend on just a few thousand votes to stay in Parliament. These MPs don't want to rock the boat, but they fear one thing: losing their seat. If enough everyday Australians speak up now, we can force them to. Publicly oppose Labor's digital ID regime. Demand it be repealed before it's too late. We don't need 1 million signatures, we just need enough in the right seats to make the MPs feel the heat. Tell marginal Labor MPs, oppose digital ID or be held accountable at the next election. Digital ID is a threat to your freedom, privacy and future. The longer we wait, the more irreversible it becomes. Speak now while your voice can still make a difference. Force your local Labor MP to take a stand. Send a message that silence is not an option. So again, look for that petition online. Again, there should be a link going up in the description or the comments. We'll make sure that's up on all our platforms, and add your signature, send that off, and by all means as well, contact those, especially Labor MPs too. Now, look, yes, absolutely. I know that these petitions don't have official power in Parliament if they're not official government petitions, like the one that we covered recently to remove the Dan Andrews statue. But hopefully the people who are behind this one, who are running this one, will be sending the details of that petition to all of those marginal MPs that they refer to, and urging them to take action in order to save their jobs. And of course, any one of you can add your signature and then forward it on to your local MP and make them aware of it, and make them aware of the numbers that it already has. At the time I printed off these notes tonight, there was about 12,000 signatures. So that's a fantastic start, but let's get 100,000 and let's really make a difference. I mean, at the end of the day, this is such an important, all-encompassing point that it is certainly better to add your signature and then pass it around, share it around, and at least make people aware of it, than it is to sit there and do nothing at all. All right, so just before I finish off, a very quick reminder, all of the VIP seats to our upcoming rates webinar are all sold out. It is on, of course, next weekend. So not this weekend, but next weekend, the 29th of June. And I can also confirm that after adding another 50 additional spots, there are less than 20 spots left. And those will almost certainly sell out before next weekend. Now, again, our last fines webinar completely sold out. Heaps of people emailed us asking if they could join at the last minute or if they could get a copy of the recording. And we simply had to tell them no. Okay, we have to keep the numbers manageable to ensure that everybody gets an opportunity to ask any questions that they may have, as well as still getting through all the information and the material that we have to share with everyone throughout the day. So we do simply have to limit those events. So please, if you don't want to miss out, I urge you, click the rates webinar link. It should be going up in the comments. Otherwise, if you can't find it, just go to the seminar page. You'll see a drop down under seminars called webinars, and then there's a drop down under webinars. You'll find the rates webinar just there. Okay, do that as soon as this video ends and secure your spot before those seats are gone. And if you want to add on a copy of the actual PowerPoint presentations as well as a PDF workbook so that you can write notes and go back and revisit all of this again after the event, you can add on the VIP materials option to your order. You'll find it near the bottom of the drop down page, and again, just be aware it doesn't include the VIP Q&A session because those have all sold out. And please, if you've missed the VIP for this event, don't miss out on the other ones. If you want to secure a VIP ticket to one of our upcoming webinars, again, just go to the webinars page, see the other webinars that we've got on, and get in early before we release them to the public, which is going to happen this weekend. Okay, once they're out there, they're out there. I can't tell you what's going to happen. All right, and last but certainly not least, just a final reminder about our final standard 2.5-day live events, which are on the Gold Coast on the 4th, 5th and 6th of July. These are the final live events that we are planning for the future. With the insane costs of running these in-person live events now, it's just not financially viable for us to do it moving forward. So if you do want to see us one last time physically in the flesh, come and talk to us, shake our hands, all that kind of stuff, as well, of course, as learning all of the fully updated information for 2025, then please click on either directly the Gold Coast seminar link, which again should be going up, or again, you'll find that on the seminar page. All right, and finally, as I always do, I'm going to finish off with the latest testimonial from one of our members, as well as some of the latest memes to get people thinking as well. So this one was sent through from Jack. He said, "Hi guys, I'm not sure if I've had a win with my traffic red light infringement notice. Refer to attached letters from Vic Poland Fines Vic. Following my court election letter, I received the Vic Pol letter dated 29 May 2025. 1 day later, I received 2 letters, one from Vic Pol dated 28 May and the other from Fines Vic dated 28 May. At first, I did celebrate when I opened up the Vic Pol letter dated 29th May, saying no further action will be taken against you. But after receiving the other letter from Vic Pol dated 28th of May, stating you'll be issued a charge and summons in due course. I'm confused. Can you please confirm for me if the Vic Pol letter dated 29 May overwrites the second Vic Pol dated 28th of May, which of course it does, because that is the later letter. So what happens, as soon as you elect to go to court, they send you out an automatic letter that says, okay, because you're elected to go to court, we'll send you out a summons in due course. Then of course it's gone back to the prosecution's office. They've looked at it, they've gone, oh yes, okay, there's no evidence, we've got no case here. And so that is the official letter that they've sent out to this gentleman. Review of traffic camera office, re-infringement number issued at Munro Street, Coburg, at the intersection of Sydney Road on Following a review of the above mentioned matter, I wish to advise that no further police action will be taken against you. So there you have it, people. That's how simple it is. Okay, you send off the 3-step letters in chapter 3 of that Aussie Speeding Fines book. If they still don't withdraw it, you send off the court election letter. They take one look at the evidence. They go, okay, this guy's got way more evidence in defence than we've got in attack, and we have to withdraw it. So there you go. Once again, that system works. All right, so some memes to get people thinking. Obviously, the big news of this week is all about the war between Israel and Iran. And as you can see there, they lied about Iraq. They lied about Libya. They lied about Syria. Okay, and now just have a look at the little bright flash while we start a war with Iran. Okay, now if anyone missed this week's radio show on Tuesday night, please make sure you go and listen to the podcast. Daryl did not hold back in any way, shape or form when he shared all of his thoughts with our listeners about what's going on over in the Middle East. So if you're interested in that, jump on the podcast. Yes, they keep pushing, but, get the jabs, get the jabs. We know it's a new variant, but the jabs are still good and the jabs still work. And hang on, what about this? Imagine convincing a species that's been on Earth for thousands of years that it just cannot survive or live a healthy life without pharmaceuticals that didn't even exist 100 years ago. I mean, it's crazy. It's so obvious, yet people fall for it every single day. Yes, I certainly feel like this many days, and I'm sure many of you who are watching this video can relate as well. Here's me looking for my new conspiracy theories because, of course, most of mine are now just facts. And finally is this one. And again, hopefully you can all relate to this because this is what is going on at the moment. The more media rubbish that's being spouted. And as it says there, what scares me most is not the fact that the media is lying to us, it's the fact that most of you believe them. And again, I know it's not people watching this video, but I'm sure you all know people out there, friends, family, co-workers, that just blindly believe whatever the media tells them, even though it makes absolutely no logical sense whatsoever. So I am going to leave things there for tonight. As always, I do urge you to make use of all the various products and services that are available to please get informed, get fired up, and get proactive. We really do need that again this year with everything that the powers that be are trying to force upon us. As always, these videos are completely free to watch. You watch them in the videos tab on our Facebook page, but again, do be aware Facebook is deleting them after 30 days. So best thing is to sign up and subscribe to either our BitChute channel or our YouTube channel, and you'll get notified whenever we release a new video that way. Of course, our radio shows are completely free to listen to every second Tuesday night. Every alternating week, we replay the previous show, so if you did miss one, you can always do it that way. If you've missed any past shows, you want to join up as a podcast member, it's literally less than $5 a week to join up as a podcast member. It is affordable for absolutely everybody. There's also plenty of free information on our website, the other websites that we recommend, and of course, if you want to go above and beyond that, we do recommend our book, The Essential Step-by-Step Manual for Understanding and Exercising Your Rights. And of course, that Aussie Speeding Fines book for successfully challenging all manner of unjust and unlawful fines. These guys have been around for 18 years now, so you know their information works. I read testimonials almost every time I do a video, so It absolutely does work if you follow the process. And of course, we know a lot of people are struggling financially, so please stop throwing good money after bad at your unsecured loans. That's your credit cards, personal loans. They can be written off, discharged very easily, again, with their tried, proven, tested 4-step process in that book. You can get these individually, you can get them all together as part of the combo pack. You do, of course, get the tote bag included as a little bonus, no extra charge. The cooler weather is definitely well and truly here, so please make sure you grab your beanies. Not only will it keep your head warm, people see the logo, they come up, they have a chat, oh, you're part of the Know Your Rights group, and it is a really great way to meet like-minded people. Now, as I said, our webinar is on next Sunday on rates, local government and land titles. So if that is of interest to you, please make sure you secure your spot before they sell out. Then the weekend after that, 4th, 5th and 6th of July is our Gold Coast events. Again, secure a spot to that before those all go. If you can't make those events for whatever reason, then please do be sure to grab a copy of our home study course. It is a complete recording of one of our 2.5-day live events. There's 17 DVDs that you can pause, rewind, fast forward in the comfort of your own home, learn at your own pace, go back and review information. There's 3 custom-made workbooks, sections there to write notes next to every single slide from every single presentation. It is a fantastic resource that you'll come back to again and again and again over the years. Again, you'll find a link in the description or the comments. So I'm going to leave things there. No radio show on Tuesday, but we will be replaying a previous show. We will be back, of course, on Thursday night next week for our next update. Until then, take care and have a great week.